Hey guys, Kyle the Deathmatch Enemy here, bringing you my review for My Hero Academia, chapter 152, and again, a very Mirio-centric chapter. We basically get his whole backstory laid out on the plate as to his origins, his how the origins of his powers, and just everything about him. And honestly, like the one thing that really got to me about this chapter is Mirio is truly the definition of that old school hero you see in comics. He came from humble beginnings with a power that he himself, even his father, didn't even really see as that great. But he worked his ass off to control that power in order to become a hero. Like he had great aspirations to be a hero, so he thought, hey, I'll try hard and I'll control my quirk. And what's really fucked? I think this was explained too, but what's really fucked up about his quirk is that if it's not controlled properly, he can't. He essentially he'll essentially become useless. So it's in a way, it's kind of, when you really look at it, it's kind of similar to it's really kind of similar to Izuku's quirk in that sense, is that if he can't control it, he essentially becomes useless. So it is interesting to see that little bit of a parallel there. But even more than that, like I said, Mirio himself, he embodies the true aspirations of what it means to be a hero. When you really think about it, like he, like I said, he came from humble beginnings. He worked hard to control his quirk, and he just has a pure desire to help others. Like he does. He does, of course, he does fight villains. That is kind of part of the job of being a hero. But at the core of it, he never forgets to help other people that are in need of help. And that is one thing that I think is kind of missing from all these other heroes, is that well yes, they of course do of course they do of course have the they do of course say that they have the desire to help others and fight villains. At the end of the day, they are just, I think they help. I think for a lot of the heroes out there, including Endeavor, of course, and Mountain Lady and all these other heroes, I think saving people is almost like a secondary priority to them, whereas fighting the villain is the primary priority, where in reality it should be the reverse. Helping people should be the primary priority, where fighting the villain should be the secondary one. And that is what and that's where Mirio is, I guess, a little different, is that he encompasses the belief that the people in danger are the ones that come first. Fighting the villain comes second. And like yeah, and it really puts into perspective that Mirio, he, from what I'm saying, he embodies what it means to be a true hero. Like it's easy to say that it's easy to say that pretty much all these hero that it's pretty much to say that he of course has the least qualities that make him a true hero. But at the end of the day, he pretty much he like I'm gonna sound over the top and maybe a little cliche in saying this, but Mirio basically literally lives, breathes, and consumes the qualities that, or I don't know, maybe consumes is a little too far, but he literally lives and breathes the qualities that are needed to be a hero, whether he fucking realizes it or not. So yeah, and honestly, that makes me all the more curious as to how a conversation between Izuku and himself would honestly go when it comes to, like, a real serious conversation between him and Izuku would go in regards to One for All. Because the more I get to see of Mirio, the more I start to wonder if maybe a mistake was made when All Might chose Izuku for One for All. Like I'm starting to feel like Izuku did at in the sports festival arc, where he started to question All Might about whether or not he chose the right person. And right now, I'm having those exact same questions in my head. Like, did All Might choose the right person? Because right now, it is kind of seeming like maybe a mistake was made, but who knows? Like with Izuku making his appearance at the end of the episode, I think there's a good chance for Horikoshi in order to alleviate those fears and probably see what he can do. But yeah, and and as far as what we and now I want to talk about I want to talk about the bullets that Overhaul has been making using Eddie's quirk. And the thing about these bullets honestly is that these quirk suppressing bullets. There's two things that come to mind when I'm really like looking at this chapter. Is that two things that came to mind when I was really looking hard at this chapter, which is that the first is that there really is no limit to the application of Ares' quirk. Like, you can make darts, you can make bullets, you can make all fucking sorts of weapons out of Ares' quirk that can, in fact, put an end to this Age of Heroes. And with a quirk I'm sure that Ares' quirk does, in fact, have a limitation. All quirks in the My Hero Academia universe do have a limitation. Horikoshi has always been good for that. But as far as the power of what as far as like the overall power of what Eddie's quirk is being used for, there really is no limitation as to what Overhaul can use it for in terms of creating weapons that are used to suppress quirks. He can create bullets. He can create darts. He can create fucking anything under the blue sun you can think of in order to suppress quirks. And honestly, right now, that's making him the most dangerous person in My Hero Academia to date. Like, it's not even the fact that his quirk is powerful, or that that he is a mastermind, which he is, of course, but just the resources at his disposal. Like, it's one of the things where Mirio, you really need to get Eddie out of there now, because with Eddie at his beck and call, Overhaul's unstoppable. He really is fucking unstoppable. I'm not gonna even lie about that at all. Like, Eddie really needs to be saved, but I think it is gonna happen. But Eddie really needs to be saved by the time this whole arc is done, because I just have no words to really describe how this honestly is how this is gonna go. Because, and actually, one other thing that is kind of interesting to me is that this arc is long. It is. I've really been thinking about this. Like, this arc is long. This arc, I think, is one of the longest arcs in My Hero Academia, or it's getting up there, right next to the hideout, right next to the fight between All Might and All for One. Like, it's getting up there as one of the longer arcs. So it really makes me curious to see how this is going to be how this is going to be adapted in the anime, because I don't think if and when this does get adapted, I don't think it's going to be enough to fill up an entire season. But I guess we'll have to see. But yeah. Also, now, as we see in the end of this chapter, Izuku has made his appearance. He finally appeared, and he couldn't have arrived at a better fucking time, because Mirio, as you see, he basically jumped in front of Eddie in order to protect her, and I wonder, like, basically the way they were talking, I wonder if this is going to have that bullet that got into Mirio is going to have some long-standing side effects, or if they're going to be, or if it's just the regular dose and his quirk is going to return after this. Because if his quirk does return, I think if his quirk didn't return, I think it would leave a little more impact. But considering that these bullets only last a certain amount of time, I don't know. I think he will get his quirk back. But yeah, sorry, I got off track there. But yeah, with Izuku returning and making his appearance, and honestly, it couldn't have come at a better time, because, like I said, Mirio ended up getting his quirk suppressed by pretty much that bullet. And like, the thing is, like, honestly, unless Night or Aizawa is with him, I really don't see him surviving this alone. I mean, Mirio went all in and still had trouble in taking Overhaul on. So I don't imagine how well Izuku is gonna do in terms of taking Overhaul on alone. Like we have Mirio's quirk that is now suppressed, so Mirio is essentially useless in helping Izuku now. But so that yeah, unless Aizawa or Night Eye are there, yeah, I don't see Izuku surviving this alone. Now, granted, granted, from what we see in this chapter, Overhaul has completely lost his mind. He's gone almost insane, almostly. So maybe this loss of composure might be a bit of an advantage in terms of Izuku. Like we all know that when people lose their minds, they don't think straight. So maybe this might be one of the keys that helps defeat Overhaul. Maybe. I don't know, but even then, I still think that Izuku's going to need someone else's help there, and just in like just Aizawa alone, just being there to suppress Overhaul's quirk, I think would be enough, to be honest with you. But yeah, but the thing with Izuku being there now is, like I said, we've all had our with so much time focused on Mirio, we've all had our doubts of whether or not Izuku is a good host for One for All, and hopefully now that Izuku has arrived, we can get a lot more spotlight on Izuku, and we can hopefully maybe get a bit more of a common ground here, and get a lot more development for Izuku, in emotional development for Izuku, and see that maybe it'll see how Izuku is going to respond, and maybe get a bit of equal conviction. See if we can get an equal, if not almost the same amount of conviction out of Izuku that Mirio has shown in these last couple of chapters. Because I really want to see what Izuku is going to bring to the table as far as proving himself as a rightful successor of One for All. So as the current successor of One for All, and see if he can produce the same amount of conviction that Aizawa or that the Mirio has already proven himself to be. So yeah, it should be an interesting. I'm really interested to see how Izuku's going to respond to what Mirio just showed us. But yeah, guys, that's my review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.